What is going on? I am so glad that you are here. I want to talk to you about the 5 most common mistakes that most people use with their concealer. So, as you are hopping on, make sure you say hello, say what's up, give a shout out to your hometown, your country, your city, your state, wherever you may be in the world. For those of you that don't know me, I am Liz Medley. I've been in the beauty industry since 2002, and for the past 4 years, I have been building a brand through social media and online, teaching other men and women, mainly women, on how to build a beauty business also through social media. Basically, myself and my organization of over 40,000 women get paid to take selfies and do live makeup tutorials on social media. So if that's something that you would love to do and learn more about, just comment below, selfie taking makeup team, or tell me more how I can be on your team, and I will reach out to you and get you that information. So as you are hopping on, say hello. I'm gonna have you go ahead and touch your phone, touch my nose on the phone, and hit the follow button. After you do that, go ahead and hit share. If you see a red square up here in this area, that means I am still live. And when you hit that share button, you can actually invite your friends to watch this live with you. If that is not there, just go ahead and hit the share button. So I'm going to talk about the 5 common mistakes people make with concealer. So the first, let's talk about under your eyes. I suffer from allergies, and so underneath my eyes are usually dark. I also have a 5-year-old, and she sleeps with my husband and I, and so I don't get as much rest as I should. So I tend to have dark underneath eyes. So I'm going to give you several tips with this. So underneath the eyes, I recommend using a lighter color. A lighter color than your skin and a lighter color than your foundation. And the reason is I'm going to teach you how to kind of highlight the area so it camouflages the dark circles and it really brings out your cheekbones. One thing that I recommend doing is, so I use Mineral Touch Skin Perfecting Concealer, and this is the lightest color they make. It's also a little warm, and I like to use a warm concealer underneath my eyes because it hides a little bit of the purple and the darkness. So that is why I choose to use a concealer. So how many of you can relate to, you put your concealer on and it shows the lines underneath your eyes more, right? It shows the smile lines, it shows your crow's feet more, right? I cannot stand it. It's like, I might as well have dark circles. I would rather have the dark circles than the lines. And so here is a trick for you. So you're going to use a lighter color than your skin, and you are going to put it actually on the back of your hand, and it just takes a small amount. And the reason I like to put it on the back of my hand is because it starts to warm up. And as the concealer warms up, you can put it on thinner. And when you apply it thinner, you're still going to get the amazing coverage, but it's not going to show up in the lines as much. So you can even get it warm and it starts to thin out. I also recommend using a small concealer brush. I like a concealer brush because this skin underneath your eyes is really sensitive. It also gives a really nice finish and you use less. Okay, so it's warming up. And so you want to do, a lot of people will do a moon shape. And when you do a moon shape underneath your eyes, whether it's lighter, whether it is the same color as your foundation, the same color as your skin, oftentimes what it does is it actually highlights the bag. It highlights the dark circles, and that is going against what we want. It does the opposite. So what I recommend doing is bringing this down into a triangle shape. I also like to make sure that I get it right here in the corner of my eyes really well because I show a lot of darkness there. So bring this into a triangle shape, and I am putting this on before my foundation. I'm putting this on before my foundation because I know that this area needs extra coverage than anywhere else. So, however, if I wanted to cover this mole or a breakout or a pimple, I recommend doing it after. I'm gonna go ahead and put this on my eyelid, and I will tell you why shortly. Okay, so this is brought into a triangle shape and it is lighter. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and do my other side. Ooh, I'll do this quicker. Make sure you get the corner of your eye if you need to, and blend this down. Put it on your eyelids. All right, as you're hopping on, make sure you say hello, say what's up, and go ahead and tap my nose on the screen and hit the follow button. And then in the left corner, go ahead and hit share. And if you see the red box up here that says live, you can invite your friends to watch along with you. If you have any questions, always make sure that you comment and ask. Even if this is not live, I will come back and I will answer your questions. Okay, so I put my concealer on before my foundation, only underneath my eyes. Only underneath my eyes. Some people will say different. I know I need extra coverage there. If you're not sure, some days you do, some days you don't, then put your foundation on first and then see if you need extra coverage. And again, remember, if this is dry for you or you don't like lines showing up, right? No one wants lines. Warm the concealer up on the back of your hand. Use a brush so you're using less. And then before I put anything on my face, I hydrated really well. I actually used some rose water, which is a toner. I used a daily moisturizer. And then I even applied a face primer to my skin to make sure it was prepped and would look its best. Okay, so now I'm going to go ahead and put on foundation. This is a liquid to powder foundation. This is my summer color. I'm in between colors right now since we are in the United States headed into the summer months. I'm not as light as my winter color, so I'm gonna go ahead and go with the darker one because my chest has gotten some sun. And this just takes a couple drops. All right. When you put on your foundation, I like to start denser in the center and then kind of flare my way out. And down. Yes, I am using a natural bristle brush for a liquid, which is a no-no in the makeup industry. However, I absolutely love the finish that I get with it. But what you have to expect if you are going to use a natural bristle brush with liquid product is it will shed. It's going to shed and it's going to ruin the brush. But I knew that going into it, and I find it to be worth it because I love the finish that my Powder Puff brush gives me with my liquid to powder foundation. So start heavier in the center and then flare your way out so this thins out through the edges. All right. Love the coverage. So let's talk about if you want to cover a blemish. If you're going to cover a blemish or a dark spot or uneven pigmentation, I recommend doing it afterwards because then you know how much coverage do you really need, how much extra coverage. Because if your foundation gives amazing coverage, why not use less product? It's gonna keep your makeup thin and not cakey looking, and you use less product. So what I'm gonna do, I don't really have, oh my gosh, a little. I have some hyperpigmentation through here. It is from when I was pregnant and was in the sun. I wore big sunglasses and a hat, but this still was exposed. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna use the same color concealer as my foundation, okay? And I'm going to put it on the back of my hand again, just to warm it up because I use less that way. And I'm gonna use my concealer brush on the opposite side of the light. So I'm just gonna go in here. Oh, I did it on the same dang side. Shoot. Okay. Screwed that up. Dang it. I thought I was being good by flipping my brush. No big deal. No big deal. I'm just gonna pat through. You can even actually use a blending bud. I'm going to, since I It's like I jinxed myself. There we go. And just pat that in for the little bit of extra coverage. Here is one thing also. So after foundation, blemish touch-ups, okay? The next thing is expectations about your concealer. Your concealer is not made to color correct. I talked about in the beginning using a warm, lighter concealer for underneath your eyes in the triangle shape. One thing is if you have rosacea or redness or broken capillary veins, you need to use something with a green undertone to get rid of the redness. So just don't expect your concealer to conceal the redness, okay? As you're hopping on, make sure you say hey, say what's up, and go ahead and tap my nose and hit the follow button, and then in the left-hand corner, go ahead and just share this out. And so don't expect your concealer to color correct. All right, let's go ahead and talk about raised spots. If maybe you have a mole or a wart or a skin tag or that acne that gets underneath your skin and causes a large bump or a raised spot, here is a trick for you to camouflage that. So if it's not discolored and your foundation makes it look smooth, but you can still see the raised area, what you can do, again, make sure you use a teeny tiny concealer brush for this. You're going to use the lightest concealer. Yes, you need 2 concealers. If you didn't know, you need 2 concealers. So you're gonna take the edge of your concealer brush. See how this is a really thin brush, and you're just gonna use the tip of it. And what you're gonna do on that raised spot is you're gonna just go on the underneath side of it with the lighter concealer. Because that raised area is going to have a little bit of a shadow on the underneath side. So you can create the illusion that it's flat by creating just a little bit of lightness on the underneath of the raised spot. Isn't that awesome? Totally freaking awesome. Makes me wish I had a raised spot so I could show you that hack. But lighter concealer on the underneath side of your raised acne, wart, mole. Okay, we talked about using a small concealer brush. It's gonna help give a good finish. You're gonna use less product and you're gonna be able to be more precise with it. And you're gonna be more gentle like on your skin and underneath your eyes. And then the last thing is, when I was putting my concealer on, for those of you that have been on the live this entire time, you saw me use the lighter concealer and do a triangle shape. You also then saw me take as I was blending it in, you saw me put the eyeshadow or the concealer on my eyelid. And the reason I went ahead and blended that up over my eyelid is because concealer makes an amazing eyeshadow primer. It does. It makes your eyelid a solid color. It also helps the eyeshadow stay in place, helps the color pop, and so it makes a great eyeshadow primer. So let's do a really quick recap of the common mistakes and what you can do to make sure that you are using concealer properly. First and foremost, I recommend getting 2 concealers. One that is lighter and one that is the color of your foundation. Also the color of your skin, okay? Underneath your eyes, do not use a moon shape. That oftentimes highlights the under eye bag, and that's why we're using concealer, is to hide the bag, right? We want to conceal that. So go ahead and make a triangle shape underneath with the lighter color. Now you can do that before or after your foundation. I recommend doing it before because then you can use less foundation in that area. Using a warm, lighter color is also the warmness is going to hide a bit of purple and black that are in your bags underneath your eyes. The other thing about under eyes and concealer is put a little bit of the lighter color on the back of your hand and let it start to warm up. I go on it so it warms up a little bit more so it spreads thinner. You're still going to conceal, but it spreads thinner, and you're going to use less product. Less product helps prevent showing the eyes up or showing the lines up underneath your eyes, smile lines and crow's feet, okay? After you put on your foundation, then you can go in with the same color foundation or same color concealer as your foundation, and you can cover a little bit extra. If you have a zit that didn't cover all the way, go ahead and put a little bit of concealer that matches your foundation and matches your skin over the spot. Or if you have darker spots or lighter spots that need a little bit more coverage, you can do then spot on top of your foundation. The next one is an expectation. Don't expect your concealer to color correct. If you have really red or rosacea or broken capillaries or redness to your face, don't expect your concealer to cover that. You need to use, if it's red, you need to use something green to neutralize the redness. Okay, so don't expect, this is just an expectation, don't expect this to color correct for you. Okay, and then the next one is raised spots. On those raised spots, acne, moles, wart, whatever it is, use your concealer brush and take the light and go on the underneath side of that raised spot. I love concealer brushes because they're thin, they're little, and you use less product. Concealer brushes are kind of, they're underrated. They're underrated, and they need to be, like, everyone needs one of these. If you use concealer, you need a concealer brush. They're the bomb, okay? And then also you can use your concealer as a primer for your eyeshadow. What's up, Kristen? Thanks for hopping on. So you can use this as a primer for your eyeshadow. You can also use it to highlight underneath your eyebrow and that brow bone to really get it to stand out. And don't forget to lighten this area with your lighter concealer. That will make you look fresh, like you got a wonderful night's sleep, and it really just helps to brighten your eyes. So I hope that these tips help. Thanks so much for hopping on. Again, if you have questions, comment below. I will answer them, even if I'm not live right now. Thank you so much for sharing, and I'll talk to you guys soon. Bye.